We mentioned this because the news was breaking basically when we were on the air, if I remember correctly. That we had on Friday, or I think news came out, or I guess it was Thursday night, whatever it was, that Colbert was being canceled. And his final guest before the cancellation announcement was Adam Schiff, which was perfect. I'm surprised at the degree to which Democrats have lined up to argue that this is unacceptable. And I want to hit you with a couple of stats because I was reading a lot about this over the weekend. First of all, the Colbert Report costs over $100 million to air. $100 million for a TV show. My jaw dropped when I saw that. Now, there's different reports that Colbert made either 15 or $20 million, and the show was losing $40 million. So it was a very unsuccessful business enterprise. Democrats have uniformly lined up to say, hey, this is CBS trying to curry favor with Trump. I just look at it and say, I can't imagine being on a show that loses $40 million a year. And when the show gets canceled, the argument being, hey, this is all political. This is an example of how totalitarianism, how fascism spreads. We've got some audio of this I want to play, but I want us to be able to react because we know a little bit of something about doing media. This is Senator Chris Murphy saying we're on the precipice of entering a censorship state. Listen to cut 32.
I want to tell you why the cancellation of Stephen Colbert's show matters so much. We are on the precipice of entering a censorship state in which Donald Trump is using the powers of the federal government in order to erase criticism from the airwaves. What's happening at CBS right now is bone-chilling. Stephen Colbert didn't get thrown off the air because he wasn't doing well. He was the highest-rated show on TV in late night. He was canceled, very likely, because Paramount and its owners are trying to get rich off of this merger, and Donald Trump has made it clear to them and everybody else in the media space that if you want any favors from me, then you have to silence my critics on your platforms.
It's delusional. His whole analysis is delusional. Stephen Colbert destroyed not just the Tonight Show or the Late Show. Which one is it? The Late Show? Tonight Show? What is it?
Late Show, yeah.
Late Show. Destroyed the Late Show. But he destroyed late night comedy, I think, because he created a dynamic where the other guys all also followed in with their anti-Trump madness and just brought the whole thing down. It's kind of what happened at CNN. Similar to what happened over at CNN, where the hosts that were rating in 2016 were the hosts who were anti-Trump 24/7. Believe it or not, Don Lemon was the top-rated CNN host for a while in the demo, top-rated across the entire channel. Why? Every night was just, oh my gosh, Donald Trump is so evil. And that was working for a little bit, but then the rest of the channel followed suit and they destroyed the whole thing. Clay, the reason they're all going in to defend Colbert, and it's pretty indefensible considering how expensive. First, well, why wouldn't Colbert say, you know what, I'm not worth $15 million a year or $20 million a year, whatever it is. We're going to need to tighten our belts here, and I'm going to take a smaller salary because I want this to endure and I want my staff to have jobs, and I'm willing to take a pay cut, still make $5 or $10 million a year so that we can be more sustainable going forward. No, he's greedy. He's greedy and he's a jerk. And he wasn't worth the money they were paying him. It's absurd that they were doing this, running $40 million a year in the red.
That's crazy.
That money is coming from somewhere else, right? So something else in that corporation that's making money has to subsidize, kind of like the WNBA, has to be subsidized by that. And you sit here and Clay, the real problem they have with Colbert's cancellation, this stuff where they're pretending it's Trump. I mean, it's just childish. It's babyish. They're losing some of their favorite toys, though. The Democrats, whether it's NPR or it's the dominance of the late programs with anti-Trump Democrat voices, they're losing some of the built-in advantages that they have. They're losing some of the legacy media dominance that they've enjoyed, and it makes them very nervous because without cheating, they can't win.
I also think it's a cautionary tale. And I would love, if you can think of one, let me know. I think the question of, can you name somebody out there that has gone woke, that has ultimately ended up benefiting? Bud Light has not, the NBA has not, the WNBA seems to think that the woke universe still exists. Colbert certainly didn't. Everybody who followed Colbert did not. I think that what you will soon see is ABC will probably move on. NBC will move on. I don't know how long it's going to take for late night television basically to collapse everywhere. But if the highest rated show is losing $40 million a year, I can't believe that the cost structure for ABC and NBC shows are that much different. Who benefited from going woke? Even Ben and Jerry's ice cream, which has been a left-wing, basically communist ice cream, interestingly, from the founding,
Who was the
is not
over-the-hill
benefiting.
football player who took the knee? He benefited
Colin
from it for a while.
Kaepernick. Yeah, for a little while, but then even that blew up on him. He benefited from that era because his era would have been over beforehand. I don't know who the winners are coming out of this. And I think what you're seeing is actually just the return to sanity. And I think it ties in. Let's talk about that WNBA situation, because I think the women in the WNBA showing up and pay us what you owe us, their league lost $40 million last year, not dissimilar to Stephen Colbert. When your business is losing money and you are arguing that you are owed way more money, I do not think that the average American out there thinks that you deserve to be paid. In fact, the numbers are, if the WNBA had to pay to sign up for what they're actually losing, every player would owe the league $250,000. Instead of being paid to play, they would actually owe $250,000 each, which is amazing. Pay us. Okay. The owners could wear the same T-shirts and be like, we want a $250,000 refund from you guys for allowing you to play. We'll talk about that and a bit more. But I want to tell you Prize Picks. Whatever you love. Major League Baseball underway. Not very long. We got the NFL training camps starting to open up all over the country. Soon the college teams are going to be officially underway also. You can get hooked up now. Have some fun. Play all over the country. PrizePicks.com, code CLAY. When you play $5, you get back $50. Not very often we have an ad where we say, hey, you get $50 when you go play $5. You're going to like this. You just pick more or less for every athlete out there. If you like baseball, if you like basketball, football, golf, what an incredible win by Scotty Scheffler over the weekend. How awesome was seeing his kid crawling on the green there. PrizePicks.com, code CLAY. Get hooked up today. That's PrizePicks.com, code CLAY. $50 when you play $5. You can play all over the country. Trust me, go check it out. PrizePicks.com, code CLAY.